Former Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Arthur Mallette just trashed the Pittsburgh Steelers front office. So, if you remember, a couple weeks ago, Mallette asked to be released from the team, and then a couple days later, the Steelers granted his wish and officially cut him from the team. So, Mallette felt as though he deserved more money than the front office was willing to offer him. Still, this came as a surprise because the Steelers lacked nickel corner depth. Yes, they have outside cornerbacks, but ever since Mike Hilton left, the Steelers really never had the nickel guy because Cameron Sutton, who used to play the nickel, moved to outside, but now he's gone from the team, and now the Steelers only had Mallette, who played most of his snaps at nickel for the Steelers last season. So his release came as a surprise, but he wanted to be released. But now on all over social media, he's now posting and trashing the Pittsburgh Steelers front office. Here's what he said. I'm going to paraphrase what he said. Here it is. Being too loyal will leave a sour taste in your mouth with this game. You gotta get what you want out of these because they don't have no loyalty in the business. My work always speaks for itself. My grind always speaks for itself. They pay who they want to pay and they slave who they want to slave. Stuff's weird. Stuff ain't football. Stuff's a popularity contest. So obviously, he didn't mention the Steelers team specifically, but since he had disputes with the Steelers organization, which led to his release, that he's obviously talking about the Steelers in this message. So, Ian Rappaport, when the time came, he said that the Steelers have informed veteran cornerback Arthur Mallette, who is with the team since 2021, that he's being released. And then, the same day, Cameron Wolfe, another insider, said this. There's a difference of opinion regarding Arthur Mallette's contract, and he asked for his release, per source. So, obviously, he asked for his release. And then, Mark Kaboly, a Pittsburgh Steelers insider, gave more clarity on the reason why Arthur Mallette asked for his release. It wasn't due to playing time or anything. It was due to contract. Here's what he said. It's believed Mallette wasn't under contract for 2023. Handshake deal last year allowed him to seek a raise this offseason. A possibility he found more money somewhere else. Wouldn't be surprised if we found out he signed somewhere else for more money or he thinks he can find more. So, obviously, that wasn't the case because Arthur Mallette is still not signed to a team. Maybe he thinks he could earn more, so he left, but he did not sign officially with another team and has not since, and it's been a couple weeks. So obviously, he's still out there looking, and now, because he can't find another job, because he can't, he's posting on social media this cryptic message. So, obviously, Arthur Mallette, if you think about it, the Steelers, he was probably getting one of the minimum, like 1 to 2 million on the team, veteran minimum. So, if you think about his playtime, he got a lot of it. And he got a lot of it at a position that the Pittsburgh Steelers really needed help with. Nickel cornerback. He appeared in 34 games, which included 8 starts with the team, and that included a total of 860 defensive snaps, along with over 300 snaps on special teams. So, just because he played a lot, and he played at a position the Pittsburgh Steelers really needed help at, nickel cornerback, doesn't mean that he was very good. Because when you think about it, and you watched him play, let me start off by praising him. He always played with an edge. He played really fast. He played with an anger in his game. And you could always respect that. Someone who plays hard. But he wasn't really good, necessarily, especially in coverage. Every single time he was a person in coverage against a wide receiver, against a tight end, whenever someone threw the ball, the quarterback threw the ball, I don't know about all of you, but whenever they threw in his direction, I always thought, okay, this is 100% going to be a catch because I just didn't have belief that he could cover guys. He wasn't really a coverage guy either with the Steelers. He played a lot of it, but he wasn't good at coverage. His main thing was obviously stopping the run and kind of pressuring the quarterback. And as a nickel cornerback, you need to be, you're on an island basically by yourself. You need to cover the inside and outside of the field. And if you're not good at coverage, what are you really bringing to the table? Just because you're playing a lot of the position and you play a lot for the team doesn't mean that you deserve more money. For example, what does he think he makes? Just think if he makes $4 million and he wanted $4 million. That's a 100% raise from the $2 million you were making the year before. And you weren't a productive cornerback. Your cornerbacks, whenever you got targeted, you allowed so much yardage. You allowed so many big plays. Whenever the Steelers allowed big plays, most of it came on him. Whenever a wide receiver ran past someone, they were running past him. So I don't know what he expected to make, but obviously he didn't get what he wanted, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers have moved on from him. And when you think about it, he said they're going to pay who they want to pay and slave who they want to slave. Yes, you could say that, but you're making 1.8 million. I just looked at his contract and he made 2 years about 3.8 million, I guess, before he got released. So he's making around 1.8 million per year. That's a lot of money, especially for football, a cornerback who plays like half of the snaps, plays a lot of special teams, and he's an older guy. He bounced around in a lot of teams recently, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers gave him a chance. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the team who gave him a chance. No other team was willing to give him a chance, but the Pittsburgh Steelers did. And not only did they give him a chance, but they gave him a chance to play a lot and prove himself. And he just didn't prove himself in coverage. He proved himself more in the run game and pressuring the quarterback. So now he's gone, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will look in a new direction. They obviously signed Sullivan, a guy who played a lot of cornerback, nickel cornerback in Minnesota, and now throughout OTAs, he's been getting all the first team reps at nickel cornerback. And now he's probably going to play the Arthur Mallette role and play a lot of nickel for the Steelers this season. And I don't see any other team, if Arthur Mallette signs, another team that would have played him as much as the Steelers. And even though you want money, yes, you also want playing time. Because why be on a team if you're going to ride the bench? And no other team's going to give him a starting job at nickel cornerback, a spot where he plays. There's a lot of good guys around the league, but he obviously can't find a team right now. And the Steelers were willing to play him a lot. Play him a lot because he has that tough mindset. But now, I don't see another opportunity that Arthur Mallette is going to get around the league. So, the Steelers, like I said, they have Jaden Sullivan. They could obviously play Patrick Peterson in the slot role, like he mentioned in his press conference when he first came to the team. They have Trey Norwood, who really hasn't gotten much playing time and hasn't really developed as the Steelers would have wanted him so far. But they have guys who could fill his role, and I believe this is actually a blessing in disguise, because they would have played Arthur Mallette a lot and he would have got beaten a lot on his routes again. So now, moving on from him, it gives the Steelers a chance to have fresh new blood on the team, guys who can maybe hold their own in the nickel spot and actually be able to guard their own wide receiver and not have to rely on the safeties as much and have so many blown coverages. I believe this is actually a good thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but obviously Arthur Mallette trashed the Pittsburgh Steelers front office and revealed that the management wasn't good in his decision to leave, and they didn't really hold their end of the deal and give him a raise like they handshook, apparently, like Mark Bowley said, last season. But with this being said, let me know down in the comments below. How do you feel about this? Do you believe as though the Pittsburgh Steelers should have paid Arthur Mallette and give him a raise this season based off their potential agreement last season? Or do you believe, like I believe, he wasn't as good as the Steelers probably hoped, so they weren't willing to give him the raise, and he didn't deserve the raise based off his performance just because he played a lot on the team and brought a tough mindset and was a leader in the locker room? Do you believe they should have paid him or not? Let me know down in the comments below. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well if you like serious content and analysis reports. Like the video, turn on post notifications down below for this channel as well so you get notified whenever I post next year's video. I covered all the draft, all free agency, all of our signings we've had. I've covered some OTA stories that have come out so far, and just know, heading to the preseason training camp and then the regular season and then repeating the whole cycle back to the draft, I'm be covering every news, every rumor for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ever since the draft, I've been posting basically every day, but if there's a specific video you guys want me to make about a certain player or whatever, let me know down in the comments below and I'll try to get around to it. So, like I said, like, comment, subscribe with notifications on so you never miss out. And I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.